Okay, going back to our stage set, we can incorporate what we've learned about materials as we begin the process of lighting this scene. The way this scene is lit is in a default way, meaning there's no specific light source where the light is coming from. It's a generic light to enable us to see what we're dealing with, and also you can see that it gives a very general sense of form with some of the objects. To be able to start lighting this scene, we need to replace the default lighting with lights that we introduce and control ourselves. And the first step of that process is to turn off the default lighting. Now to do that, I'll hit the number 7 key on the keyboard, so that puts everything in darkness. If you want to go back to the default lighting, you press the 6 key on the keyboard. So by using the 6 and 7 keys, you're turning on and off the default lighting. Now lighting a scene can be quite a complex and elongated process. We can't really go straight to what we want. We need to sort of take a step at a time and gradually develop towards the lighting setup that we want. So the first part of the process is to create an overall ambience that we can somehow control. So what I'm going to do is go to the Create menu, go down to Lights, and here you can see where we've got a selection of lights. We'll go through some of these lights as we're adding them to our scene. So the first light I'm going to use is this one called a directional light. As soon as you add a light, you can see that the area or the darkness is lit up. Now by default, the lights that are added appear at the center of the grid there. If you've got the stage in the way, you can't really see where that light is. So if I go to the move tool now, you can see the handles have come up in relation to that light. So we can clearly now just move it into place. Each different type of lighting layer illuminates in a specific way. So if we take a close look at this directional light, the first thing we notice is the symbol. So you can see it's made up of a few arrows pointing rather in a certain direction. Now what that means, if you look down at the pot here, you can see that since this directional light is pointing in from the left hand side, we can see that in fact every other object in the scene is being illuminated from this left side. So the opposite side you can see is still in darkness. So if I zoom out, you can see that's the case with all the objects, regardless of their position or arrangement. So the steps illuminated from the left, you can see the walls, you can see the lights, everything is illuminated according to that direction. Now, with direction lights, it doesn't actually matter where you position it in the scene. As you can see, I'm moving it around and there doesn't seem to be any change in the illumination. Okay, but if I now go to rotate and rotate this directional light, the direction that it's pointing towards, that gives you the control of the lighting in this case. So if I rotate the light, say from this side, all objects in this scene are illuminated from the same direction.